So the 2016 Lakers look much differently than they look today. This was pre-LeBron signing and pre-Anthony Davis trade, and this was a young team that was had a lot of pieces but was not winning a lot of games. So we're going to go back to 2016, and we are going to rebuild this team before LeBron comes and see if we can turn them into a powerhouse in the Steph era. So this team was right around the time when the NBA's new TV deal kicked in, and as we all know, Kevin Durant signed this offseason with the Warriors because they had so much added cap. Now the Lakers took a different approach. I think it was Mitch Kupchak at the time. He decided to spend a ton of money on guys like Timothy Mozgov, Luol Deng. I think there was one other. This is obviously not a real player, so I'm sure that that $15 million was somebody else that I cannot think of off the top of my head. So obviously, kind of the first thing we need to do is get off these contracts. But this team does have a lot of potential. I mean, D'Angelo Russell's 20 years old as an 80 overall. Lou will probably trade him. Julius Randle is a 78 overall at 21. Jordan Clarkson obviously turned into one of the best six man in the league. And then we got guys like Zubac, who was a 19 and a 75 overall. So there was a ton of, and Larry Nance Jr. too, and Brandon Ingram. I didn't even say him, but there was a ton of potential on this team. They obviously um, mortgage the future of this team to go into win now mode and win a championship with LeBron and Anthony Davis. Which, I mean, if you win a championship, I'd say that's the right call. But we're going to rebuild this team differently. I would say this is arguably the worst team in the Steph era. So we're going to see if we can turn them into a powerhouse type team and win a couple championships. So first move is we're just going to kind of get a gauge on what some of these players are worth. So like Lou Will, because he's older, in my opinion, I think we want to kind of go ahead and get off him if we can get something decent in return. I mean, I think we kind of want to keep the same concept of bringing in young players. Like a Willie Cauley Stein would obviously not be a bad option. That might be the trade we end up taking. Malik Beasley at 19 would not be a terrible option either. Um, Sabonis. We give up Nick Young and we bring in Anthony Morrow. I think that's the trade we are going to end up take. We could get Rocco though, which I do like the idea of that. Um, but yeah, I think Sabonis is just too good of an option to pass up. So we are going to take Sabonis. Let's also just see if we can get rid of Luol Deng's contract. And I mean, we're going to take this trade, but I'll look and make sure there's nothing better. But Joe Harris in a second. Damari Carroll's at 30 at that point. Um, but yeah, we're just gonna take this trade to. I mean, Grant develops into a actual pretty good player. I mean, he's on a huge contract right now. But the big thing is we get off that 18 million for Luol Deng, and that will free up a ton of cap space to try to make a big free agent acquisition. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Mozgov, and like if these deals were just 1 year deals, I wouldn't care to keep them. But 4 years, 16 million, we're gonna have to get off that contract at some point, and I think why not go ahead and get off of it now and see if we can maybe get something at all decent in return. It's looking like every Alfredo Camino and Ed Davis. I would like to maybe get somebody on like a 1 year deal if possible. Like this trade isn't awful because we bring in two expiring contracts. Don't want Delhi, don't want JR. Tyler Zeller on a 1 year deal. We pick up a second. I think we take this just to, like I said, get off the contract. So, and then the last trade, Mickey Ellis, we'll just see if we can basically hand him off. We're just going to take this trade from Matt Davis and get off that contract. So we've already cleared up a ton of cap space. I mean, that was almost 40 million, if not more. I can't even remember exactly everybody's contract, but I mean, that's obviously huge. Jordan Clarkson has probably some trade value. If we can get somebody decent for him, we will go ahead and move off of him. But I mean, like a first round pick from the Denver Nuggets, that's actually pretty tempting. I think we might end up taking that trade. Um, just because we're going to have to build this team mostly through the draft and possibly free agency. So another thing with this team is that obviously the next draft is the Lonzo Ball, Jason Tatum draft, and the Lakers ended up getting Lonzo Ball. Hopefully, we can end up getting maybe the first pick or Tatum falls like he did in real life, and we can possibly get him. So we want to get a high draft pick in this next draft to try to get somebody like that. So since we added some bonus, I'm gonna see what we can get for Julius Randle because I think Sabonis is the guy we kind of want to move to. So Chris Middleton and Greg Oden for Larry Nance and Julius Randle. I mean, we'd probably move off Greg Oden, but I like that trade a lot. DeAndre Jordan is not a bad option either. Dwight Howard past his prime, we don't want him. Rudy Gay, we don't want him. Serge, no. Jeff Teague, no. Drew Holiday, I hate how they only have him as a 79 overall. Um, so we can't go after him. DeJounte Murray, though, is kind of tempting, I'm not going to lie. But I think the first trade of bringing in a guy like Chris Middleton is just too good of a value. We do give up Larry Nance, which is kind of bittersweet, but we get Greg Monroe. We're going to try to flip Greg Monroe right away just because I don't think he fits the team really. And he is a 26-year-old, 80 overall. So, I mean, he should have some value. Um, and we could actually go ahead and get DeAndre Jordan. I do think he kind of fits what we're trying to do here. So I think we're going to take that trade. We'll just make sure there's nothing glaring at us that's better. Okay, so let's take a look at the roster now. So we need a power forward, but we have D'Angelo Russell, Chris Middleton, Brandon Ingram, Thomas Robinson, DeAndre Jordan, and then we have Zubac, Sabonis, Tyler Zellers. So our bench is obviously not very good. We are going to move Sabonis to the power forward position so he can start over Thomas Robinson and hopefully develop better. But other than that, we're going to go into this first season and just see what the team can do. Hopefully, we don't win too many games so we can get a good draft pick. If we don't, we'll look in the off season to maybe acquire a higher pick. So does Sabonis get better or he stays the same? So we'll do that. Now we'll go to coaching, and we're going to start Sabonis. I don't know why they insist on giving Robinson the starting role, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and sim. I think we're just gonna go all unless we're like doing better than expected. We'll probably just sim to the end of the season and see what type of draft pick we get. So we make it to the end of the season, season one, and LeBron James wins MVP. Joel is our rookie of the year. Nerlens Noel is our sixth man, and Draymond wins Defensive Player of the Year with Jokic winning Most Improved Player. The Spurs coach and the Kings GM wins the Executive and Coach of the Year. Here's our first team. We're going to go ahead and take a look at how we did, and let's look at the NBA standings. So we obviously did not make the playoffs. We won 32 games. It's more than I wanted to. So hopefully that draft pick can end up, we can end up getting a better draft pick. We're just going to go ahead and sim the playoffs and get right into the off season. So we'll see who wins the championship. The Grizzlies actually take it with Marc Gasol. That's actually a pretty cool final. So they beat the Celtics. So we also have Utah getting there. Golden State gets swept by Memphis. Actually, Memphis was kind of a powerhouse. Honestly, they end up taking the NBA title. That's something we probably didn't expect. We'll look at player retirements just to see if there's any big names that went ahead and retired. Manu Ginobili probably being the biggest. So nobody too major. I mean, obviously Mano's a legend, but and Joe Johnson ends up retiring. Mike Miller, Jason Terry, some decent players, but nobody like top five type player. So we're gonna go right into the draft lottery, see what pick we end up getting. Let's see. Does somebody have our pick? The Sixers do. I wonder if that's protected though. So let's go ahead and just see. It was not protected. So the Sixers end up getting our pick. We actually only have pick 18 and 16. So we'll look to make some trades because we do want to get somebody in this draft that's decent. If we can't make it work, then that's fine too. But yeah, we kind of want to see if we can maybe get somebody decent. If not, we might trade for some future picks and just see if we can get a lottery pick in the near future. So we're at 17, so we really want 18 or 19 picks, preferably 18. We don't want top 3 protected though. 20. So I think we can take this Atlanta Hawks first round pick because that's next year. That'll give us a shot at maybe getting somebody really good. Other than that, I don't know. Let's just go into the draft and we'll see who's available at 18. I don't think we're going to be able to trade up because to get up to like the top 3 where we'd really need to be, I just don't think. And Jason Tatum goes 1. So that's the guy we wanted anyways. Donovan Mitchell would have been decent. We do have D'Angelo Russell though. Lonzo Ball is still not taken. Kyle Kuzma goes over Lonzo, Markel Fultz. So we're at pick 6, pick 7. Okay, maybe we should try to end up getting Lonzo. Let's see if we can. 19 first round pick. That's actually kind of tempting. 19 from the Rockets, 19 from the Spurs. Yeah, I don't think I want to trade up for Lonzo. He is still not went though. Okay, so Lonzo goes pick 9, which is obviously kind of a fall. We'll see who's going to be available at our pick, and if there's somebody we think is a good option, we will take them. If not, we will probably trade. Oh, OG would have been a huge, or Bam. We probably should have taken a look and possibly traded up for one of those guys. So Jared Allen obviously it would not be a terrible option. I don't know if we want to use that pick though, or try and see if we can trade that and get somebody else. Let's see if maybe we can throw something on top and get one of these guys that were just drafted in the last couple picks. Okay, so who took Bam? To be honest, I don't. I think we just I don't know. I think we trade for a future pick and try to maybe get somebody. I mean, there are some decent options here. I don't want any lottery protected picks though. Steven Adams and Lou Will, but we're not giving up a 2018 first round pick. I don't mind this trade. Well, the Warriors are obviously extremely good, so we don't really want that trade either. Brogdon, I actually don't hate the idea of bringing him in for pick 18. I think he's better than what we're going to get for that pick, so we're going to make that trade. Let's take a look real quick. So at point guard, we still got D'Angelo Russell. We got Brogdon at shooting guard. We have Chris Middleton and Brandon Ingram, Sabonis, and DeAndre Jordan and Zubac. So we have a good rotation right now. So I think we're going to kind of see who's in free agency because we're going to have a good amount of money. And we have obviously a ton of trade assets. So we don't have any rookies to sign. Let's look at our team player options. Let's bring back Grant. We're obviously not going to bring Zellers back. And we'll just, Horace Tatum has a $19 million player option. What in the world? Who even is that? It's obviously a generated player. So we're gonna trade him. So we do not actually have really any cap space. Let's see who is taking up that cap space right now. So DeAndre Jordan and Chris Middleton are the main two. Let's see if we can get off Matthew Dellavedova. We get a first round pick. Obviously, we need to get off Tatum. I mean, if we can take, we'll just take one of these second round picks just to get off the contract. Um, Other than that, let's see what that gives us cap space wise. So it gives us 27 million to make a run at one of the really good players. We're going to need about 40 million. Kevin Durant, Steph, or Chris Paul would obviously be game changers. Gordon Hayward though would actually not be a bad option to bring in. So let's just see what we can get for like a guy like DeAndre Jordan, for instance. If we can get somebody on a better contract and maybe get a pick in return as well. Nobody's popping up that's like, yeah, that's the trade we want to take. We could get two first round picks from the Suns, one being next year, and that would free up some cap space. So that gives us enough to make a run at basically any free agent we want. So let's offer Steph a deal. Let's offer Kevin Durant a deal. Let's even offer Chris Paul a deal, and let's offer. Okay, so we actually get Chris Paul. We bring him to the Lakers, even though that trade was vetoed. We're gonna go ahead and sign him. Kevin Durant and Steph sign elsewhere. So Gordon Hayward is. We're gonna see if we can possibly get Gordon Hayward, so he does not want to sign with us. Other than that, it doesn't look like anybody else is really great, but we do land Chris Paul, which will allow us to now trade D'Angelo Russell. Um, I don't mind the idea of maybe bringing in like a guy like Rudy Gay. We're gonna go ahead and offer him a 3-year deal because we can always trade him and get rid of that contract. So yeah, we add Chris Paul and Rudy Gay. So that's Rudy Gay is probably not going to be here the long term. Chris Paul goes down 3. D'Angelo Russell goes up 3. But Russell's going to have some serious trade value. Brandon Ingram goes up 4. Rudy Gay goes down 2. We'll probably honestly try to just trade Rudy Gay right now, but he's somebody that gives us some trade value. Oh, Jahlil Okafor. He was somebody who I thought was going to be a really good NBA player that just did not pan out. We could get Blake Griffin. We could create Lob City in LA with the Lakers instead of the Clippers. Aaron Gordon, I don't hate the idea of that, but I'm not giving up Zubac. Jamal Murray at age 20. They have him listed as a shooting guard. We would get Nurkic back as well. I don't mind that trade, but I would like more of an actual shooting guard, if that makes sense. We could bring back DeAndre Jordan and pair him with Chris Paul. But once again, is that like the type of move that puts us over the edge? I don't really think so. So we are going to take Jamal Murray, I think, because we get Nurkic back and we can also trade him and possibly get something for him. So let's look at our lineup. We got Chris Paul, Brogdon, Jamal Murray, Chris Middleton, Brandon Ingram, Sabonis, and Nurkic. So we're not in the best place right now, but we just need to add basically that one other star. And honestly, I'm debating just being bad even with Chris Paul aging and picking up a couple extra first round picks next year and seeing if we can just go all in and pair Chris Paul with somebody. So we get a first for Brogdon. Like I said, we're obviously not sitting in the best place right now. We can trade Middleton back to the Bucks. I don't mind the idea of Hassan Whiteside, but he is getting paid 23 million, and I'd like to have money next year to try to make a move to put us over the top. Because if we can get a really top or a couple top picks and get possibly a really good rookie and then possibly sign somebody with all the extra money. We have Terry Rozier indicted on gambling charges. We do not want that energy in our locker room, so we are going to not grab him. We could get Rudy Gay, but we have to give up, or not Rudy Gay. We could get Hassan Whiteside, but we have to give up a first round pick, so that is a no go. We could get Trey Burke, Wilson Chandler. Nobody is kind of standing out. I like the idea of Norman Powell, and we get Damari Carroll. Let's go ahead and pick up Norman Powell. Try to get some guys that'll be good on the bench, and then basically we just want to get off contracts for, and then go ahead into the season. So we're going to trade Damari Carroll's contract. We are going to trade Todd Hagen's contract. We'll take that 2 seconds, and then we'll probably move off Tony Snell's contract as well. So we're going to go ahead and get into the next season and basically tank this season. I wish that season 2 would be kind of building it up a little bit more, but we did not make the best moves in the first season. So we'll go ahead and sim to possibly the middle of the season or possibly the end of the season. So we make it to the end of the season, and James Harden wins MVP. Lonzo is the Rookie of the Year. James Johnson, sixth man. Kawhi Leonard, defensive. Kevon Looney is the most improved. So let's see what the team looked like. We're going to go to NBA standings. We obviously did not make the playoffs again. We did get a little bit worse, which is good for the rebuild. We won 29 games, and that puts us at basically like one of the 6 worst teams. So should have a shot at a good pick. We're gonna go ahead and just simulate playoffs. Looks like the Spurs might be a powerhouse this team. We'll see if they added anybody. Kawhi Leonard wins rookie or Finals MVP. So they have Roy Hibbert, LaMarcus Aldridge, Deion Waiters, Tony Parker. Really nobody crazy that they added. So, but definitely a solid team. Kawhi obviously was at kind of his peak at this point. So we're going to look at player retirements real quick. Dirk retires, Vince, Richard Jefferson, Paul Pierce. So some really good players are actually retiring this year. Dirk obviously being the main guy. Let's look at the draft lotto. Let's see. So there we have the best odds at 5, 9, 10, and 7. So if we can hopefully maybe fall up into the maybe like a first overall pick, or at least get a couple maybe top 5-ish picks, we can always trade to get up to the first pick. So we end up with pick 5, pick 7, pick 9, and pick 10. So that's obviously not the best case scenario, but it's also not awful. So we end up getting a lot of lottery picks. We will go ahead and look at the prospects. So this is the Luka DeAndre Ayton draft class. I kind of want to see if we can possibly get up to number 1 and snag Luka and bring him to LA early as a rookie. So let's just see. The Knicks have the first overall pick. Let's go ahead and just try to make our own trade for number 1. And then I think we can honestly trade away Chris Paul, because we will play Luka at the 1. So we end up getting the first overall pick. So that's huge. Let's go straight into the draft, and we might end up making another trade depending on what we can get. I think it was pick 9 or pick 10 that we've kept. So obviously Luka is a no question first overall pick. So we're gonna take him. Trae Young goes 2. DeAndre Ayton goes 3. Jaren Jackson goes 4. Sexton goes 5. Shea Gilgeous goes 6. I wouldn't mind getting him. Obama goes 7. Bagley goes 8 to the Kings like he did in real life. Kevin Horter goes 9. And that leaves us with the choices. We could get Mikal Bridges or Michael Porter. I don't mind either of those. Robert Williams is not a terrible option. Jalen Brunson's obviously down here. I don't think he's going to develop the way he did in real life, so we probably won't take him. I think Mikal Bridges is the choice here. Michael Porter is also extremely tempting, but I think Mikal Bridges is the guy we want to get at 10. So let's see if we have, what other picks do we have? We have 21, so we're going to see who slides there. I wouldn't care getting Jalen Brunson there as our backup point guard, possibly. Michael Porter would have been awesome if he would have slid that far, but obviously we were not expecting that. So Lonnie Walker goes, and we actually do get Jalen Brunson. So we're going to take him, and we're going to just sim to our next user picks, which are second round picks. See if there's anybody that's an actual player. Josh Kogi, let's remember him. Good defensive player. And we're just going to sim to the end. So this was a great draft. We get Luka. We get Luka, Mikal, Jalen Brunson. We will not. We'll just not sign him. So this was obviously one of our better drafts. We still have Jamal Murray, Demontis Sabonis. LeBron declines. We could try to bring LeBron to LA and pair him with Luca, but I don't think we're gonna do that just because it's we want to make this team a little bit different. I know we went and got Luca, but we're probably not going to do that. We'll bring back Norman Powell and Nurkic. Now DeMarcus Cousins, on the other hand, would be a huge addition. So let's look at what we have money wise. So now that we add um, Jalen Brunson and Luca, we're gonna move Luca to the point guard position, and or maybe Jamal Murray and move Luca to the two. Let's see what we can get for Chris Paul, because if we can get off his contract and bring in somebody young that's going to develop, I think that would be worth it. The big thing is, can we actually get somebody that we deem worth bringing in? We want to get somebody young that's good. I don't hate this trade, but we're still bringing in Steven Adams, who is obviously kind of expensive. I mean, a decent option, don't get me wrong. We could bring in De'Aaron Fox, though, and bring him off the bench. The problem is we already have Jalen Brunson, so we don't really want to do that. I like the idea of Kuzma, and we get Horford back that we could also trade, but like we're trading Chris Paul, so we want to get somebody, in my opinion, that's kind of playable. I like Andre Drummond, honestly. That's kind of the one that's standing out the most. The problem is we're not saving a ton on the cap here, but we can now go and trade Reggie Jackson and get off his contract. And we could pick up we have to trade a first for that. Luke Kennard, I don't hate the idea of that, but we bring in Joakim Noah, Michael Beasley, and a first. We are going to take that trade, and we are going to try to flip Beasley right away. We also want to move off some of these other guys who have contracts that we don't necessarily want, like Tony Snell, who's not going to be playing for us. So we can get a 21 first. I don't know if LeBron left Cleveland, or I guess he hasn't signed anywhere yet. So we'll monitor that. Boogie wants, if we can get DeMarcus Cousins, and we have Andre Drummond, obviously, this could be huge so he signs with the Suns, so that's not the best case scenario. I mean, I assume that they're going to match this, but okay, yeah. So it's still showing DeMarcus Cousins, so okay, so I guess they ended up not signing him after they did. That's kind of random. The question is, who do we want to try to bring in? Who is worth it for us? The only guy that really stands out is, I mean, DeAndre Jordan, kind of. I mean, we'll throw LeBron an offer, but yeah, he signs back with Cleveland. Everybody else just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to bring back. We will bring back Norman Powell, though. I was really hoping somebody was going to be available, but the thing is, we'll still have this cap space going into next season. So we bring back Nurkic. Drummond goes down 1, but Ingram goes up 4. Jamal Murray goes up 4 as well. Nurkic goes up 2. Sabonis goes up 4. Overall, not really extremely happy with where the team's at now. We're going to try to trade Norman Powell because we want to get these young guys minutes as quick as possible. So we're going to trade Norman Powell, see if we can get maybe a first round pick. And then we might go all in on trying to maybe trade some of these picks for a established player. So we'll trade this Cook contract, see if we can just get like a second round pick and get off of him. Okay, so Jamal Murray. The question is, do we want to move Jamal to the? We just have like no depth too. I think we can maybe trade Nurkic and get some depth. Don't mind Nerlens Noel, but we kind of want a 1-for-2 type trade here, where we get two bench level players for one starter level player. But it's not seeming like we're getting any of those type of offers. That's no, that's so I don't like. I wish there would have been somebody in free agency that kind of stood out as like, hey, this guy's really good. Let's go get him. And it's just seeming like a lot of our signings aren't working. Kind of similar to LA in real life at this time. Like they were having a lot of trouble getting a free agent to come here at that point in time. We could make a crazy move and bring in Jimmy Butler to pair with Luca. He's 28 and an 88 overall. This is the type of move that I do think would kind of further the team. And I think we might end up actually taking that trade because the way I look at it is Wendell Carter has is a 3.5 star, so we can end up getting off of him for and probably bringing something in another young up and coming player. And that's kind of the main way I'm looking at it. So we could bring in DeAndre Jordan with us trading. We do have to give a first round pick, but it's in 2021. So let's take a look. Oh, we're in the off season still. I think honestly, these moves are kind of the best ones we've made so far. We've had a lot of trouble bringing in kind of guys that are worth it, and I think the Jimmy Butler move is somebody who obviously makes the team a lot better. We also do have Fred Van Fleet, which is interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to move Mr. Luca to the point guard position. And does that change his overall? It does. Puts him down to. Yeah, I think we have to do it though. He'll develop still as a point guard. So we have Luca and Jalen Brunson. And then we have Jimmy Butler, Seth Curry, who will probably trade so Mikal Bridges can get play time. Then we have Brandon Ingram and Nick Young, Sabonis and Jerebko, and Jordan and Nurkic. Now, if we could package Nurkic and Curry, or Nurkic and maybe Fred Van Fleet, and possibly get something in return to kind of strengthen the bench unit, I don't think that is the worst move for us. We'll see if we can do that. And then we're going to go right into the next season. I don't mind this trade to strengthen the bench unit, but I think we can do better than that. I don't like the idea of Surge. We could bring back Jordan Clarkson and we get Kenneth Faried. So we bring in a backup point guard, which will move him to shooting guard, and then a backup power forward. But I don't think that's enough, to be honest with you. I think we just roll with it, to be honest. I just maybe trade Seth Curry specifically just because I want Mikal Bridges to get minutes because he's going to develop into a good player. So I wouldn't mind getting, a backup power forward slash maybe a small forward. Joey Ingles is not really who I had in mind, but it's not the worst option. Lonnie Walker is not a terrible option. We could bring in Drew Holiday for the backup point guard position, but once again, it's not really what we're looking to do right now. I don't mind this trade. I think this is the one we're actually going to take. Okay, so let's go in, look at the roster for this year. So we have Luka, Jimmy Butler, Brandon Ingram, Domantas Sabonis, DeAndre Jordan. Then we have Nurkic, Jeremy Grant, Mikal Bridges, Danny Green. Is there anybody? I want Jalen Brunson to be playing, so we're going to give him Danny Green's minutes. I mean, I'm sure the CPU will change that, but yeah, we're gonna sim this season, see if this team can start winning, if we can maybe make the playoffs for the first time, and then we will see if we can kind of put the final pieces on in the off season and get this team to championship level. So we make it to the end of the season. LeBron wins MVP again, but Luka Doncic, our number one draft pick, wins Rookie of the Year, averaging 17, 7, 8, 1, and half a block, basically. And Giannis wins Defensive Player. Jamal Murray is Most Improved. But overall, the team made a huge stride this year. We are the number 2 seed in the playoffs. We will look at the NBA standings. We ended up winning actually 54 games to be the number 2 seed. So this season went a lot better than the rest of the rebuild so far. So we're going to get into our first playoff series and see if we can go ahead and win a title. And we are possibly going to sweep the Memphis Grizzlies, who, if you do not remember, actually won the finals in the first season of this rebuild. So we take a 1 game lead against the Denver Nuggets. We might end up sweeping the Nuggets. We do. So we are going to be either playing Sacramento or Utah for a chance to go into the NBA Finals. We are going to be playing Sacramento for the chance to match up versus either Toronto or Philadelphia. Let's see if we can end up winning this series. They take game 1, we take game 2. They take game 3, can we take game 4? We tie the series 2-2. They take game 5, so we're going to go into the simcast since this is a elimination game to go to the finals. Hopefully we can push game 7. It's not looking great. They take pretty much a 10-point lead. We're going to have a huge comeback in the fourth quarter, and it's not looking the best. We are down by around 9-ish points, and it's looking like they are going to possibly hold us off, and we are not going to. Oh, we make a little bit of a run in the fourth quarter, and we're only down by 6 points, and they make a run to go back up by 10. So it's looking like we are going to be eliminated by the Sacramento Kings, sadly. But yeah, I mean, we basically got to the conference finals. We lost to the Kings, who have DeMarcus Cousins and Steph Curry, which is that Steph Curry or yeah, Steph Curry and DeMarcus Cousins. So, I mean, obviously they have put together their own type of little rebuild over in Sacramento. We are going to, and they are playing Toronto, oh, who has Kyle Lowry as their Finals MVP. Let's take a look and see. Really, it's a very similar team in real life with the additions of Pascal and Bam, which did not seem to play a huge role in the finals. So DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry get a finals win together, something we obviously did not see in real life. So that was kind of the season. I was not expecting to get that close to the finals, honestly. So that is a huge trend in the right direction. So we're going to go straight into the draft lottery. We did trade for a lot of picks, so hopefully we have we don't even have a possible lottery pick, which is kind of sad. So we'll just go ahead and sim this. We get pick 24 from Sacramento, and that looks to be the only pick we have. Did we trade? I guess we traded our pick to the Magic. So, gonna be a little hard to make any crazy additions. Let's just kind of take a look at the team. So Jimmy Butler obviously is staying. Brandon Ingram should progress a little bit. I wouldn't care to get off DeAndre Jordan if we can bring in somebody to replace him. Sabonis is refusing to resign, but he's on a team deal. He should progress some more. Mikal Bridges should progress some more. Jalen Brunson. All these guys should be getting better this offseason. So we're going to go. Let's actually take a look at the draft class. So this is the Zion Williams draft class. Um, Honestly, not one of my favorites. So there's nobody that's like really sticking out that's like, hey, we need to get that guy. So we're just gonna go in, we're gonna sim to our pick, we're gonna see if there's anybody decent there. Ja goes first actually, and we're gonna look. So we can get Cam Johnson or Kevin Porter. I think Cam Johnson is the right pick here, so we're going to take him. I think that's a solid pickup. We'll sim to our next user pick just to see if there's anybody. Caleb Martin will. Jalen. Oh, Jalen McDaniels. Okay. Oh, that was Jade McDaniels for a second. I was like, whoa. Um, we're going to take Mr. Caleb Martin and add him to the squad. And we'll go ahead and sim to our next user pick, just see if there's, once again, Moses Brown. We'll take him. We'd like to get real people. Um, so, and Max Struess, we'll go ahead and take him too. Oh, we have another pick. And doesn't look like we're going to get a real player with this pick. Let's not, never mind. We're taking Mr. Taco Fall. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize he'd last that long. So that's a cool signing. So we're gonna bring in all these guys. We get Cam Johnson as a 72, Caleb as a 70, or Cam Johnson as a 73, Caleb Martin as a 72, Moses Brown as a 70, Max Struess as a 70, and Taco Fall as a 67. We will look at team player options. Jimmy declines his player options, so we are going to have to fight to keep him. If we lose him, this is going to set us back a ton. Hopefully, there will possibly be some other free agents in case Jimmy walks, because I mean, at the end of the day, we will offer Fred VanVleet a deal as well. So the first order of business is obviously we need to lock Jimmy Butler back up. And so Karl Anthony Towns is restricted. Nikola Jokic, though, is not. So we're going to offer him a deal, see if we can possibly bring him in. We're just going to offer a bunch of people deals. And if they sign, we will. Okay, so can we free up enough space to get Jokic and Jimmy? I don't honestly know how much we'd have to free up, but I think it'd be borderline trading everybody. Let's take a look here. So to be honest, we don't have any crazy contracts other than DeAndre Jordan. I mean, obviously we're signing Jimmy Butler back. Let's move off DeAndre Jordan and just see if we bring in somebody cheap, if we could possibly sign Jokic. I don't want to renounce rights. Okay, so we are going to bring in Jokic and we're bringing Jimmy Butler back. James Harden signs with the Mavs. We do lose Nurkic, but that is no big deal in the grand scheme of things. Um, we do have 7 million in cap space, so let's see if we can maybe get a decent center for 7 million. We do not have enough money to sign Scal. Um, let's bring in Dwight Howard, a guy who played a big role in some on the Lakers championship the first time around. So I that was a huge free agency, bringing in Nikola Jokic and bringing back Jimmy Butler, along with Jimmy Nikola goes up 2, and we get him up to a 94. Brandon Ingram actually passes Jimmy Butler to go up to an 89. Luka's up to an 86 already at 20 years old. Sabonis goes up 3. Mikal Bridges goes up 5. We do bring in Karis LeVert and Jared Allen for some depth pieces. Jalen Brunson goes up 4. Dwight goes down 3. He's mainly here just to be another piece off the bench. So I think this could be our year. This is the year that I feel like we should be the title favorites. We almost made the finals with DeAndre Jordan, and we basically upgraded him to Nikola Jokic. So I think I really like the chance of us winning the title this year. This rebuild has been honestly a little bit of a struggle. I thought this one would we gotta cut some people. Let's actually try to trade some people instead of cutting them. Honestly, might trade Dwight Howard because I forgot I got Jared Allen, honestly. so I don't really need him. Can we trade Dwight for some picks? And we'll throw in Max Drews to get an extra first round pick because that will um that will give us the chance to, maybe make some moves if we don't win it this year. So I'm hoping this will be the championship year. We're going to go ahead. I don't think I'm going to change anything with this team, lest we're just underperforming at the trade deadline. So I will see you either at the trade deadline or the end of the season going into the playoffs. So we make it to the end of the season, and Karl Anthony Towns wins our MVP. Zion is the rookie of the year. Ja Morant, six man. Giannis, defensive player, back to back. Colin Sexton with the most improved. Luke Walton with the coach of the year for the Lakers, and executive of the year, Spencer, for the Lakers. So we make our best season. We are the number one seed. We will take a look at the NBA standings. We won 66 games, only beat Minnesota by one game, so that's probably going to be a tough matchup to possibly go to the finals. Let's see. And then we have Boston on the other side. So we could get a Boston Lakers NBA Finals. That would be kind of cool. We'll look at real quick the season stats. And so we had Jokic averaging 28, 14, 7, 1, 1, and two turnovers. And then we had Brandon Ingram averaging 16. We had Luka averaging 18. Jimmy Butler. Oh, God. So we have Sabonis out for the playoffs, and we have Jimmy Butler out for 1 to 2 weeks. So this first series is probably going to be kind of tough. If we can get through this and get Jimmy back, I still like our chances to possibly win it all. It does kind of sting Kevin Sabonis out. We do sweep New Orleans, which is good. That gives us a little bit more time to get healthy. So we will simulate round, and we are going to be playing Memphis again, who once again has won an NBA Finals in this rebuild. So they actually take game 2 and game 3. We take game 4. We take game 5, and we win to go face Minnesota to go to the finals. They swept Dallas. We will real quick look at their roster and see who they have. So they have George Hill, Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, and Gorgie Zhang. So they basically, honestly, kept most of the same team and just developed. So we have Jimmy Butler, who obviously has beef with Minnesota in real world. So that's kind of cool. Obviously, the power forward position is basically these are very even matchups, except Luka kind of kills George Hill. But Jimmy Butler versus Zach LaVine, relatively even. Ingram versus Wiggins, relatively even. I would say Jokic versus Karl Anthony Towns is even, but I think Jokic has quite the advantage, even though they're the same overall. But this is 2K. This is the sim. We take game 1. We take game 2. We take game 3. Can we sweep to get to the NBA Finals? And we have Boston versus Toronto with Boston winning. So we do get the two number one seeds, Boston versus LA, the rivalry of NBA history. So we will look real quick at their roster. They have Isaiah Thomas, Josh Hart, Jaylen Brown, Kyle Kuzma, and Al Horford. On paper, we are a much better team than them. So let's see. Oh no, did Jimmy get hurt? Let's take a look at that. And Jimmy broke his freaking leg and is out for the season. Oh my God. So Mikal Bridges is going to have to step up. Even without Jimmy Butler, I still think we can win this game or win this series. So they take game 1. We take game 2. We take game 3. They take game 4. This is a tied series. We take game 5. Can we win the NBA Finals? This is going to a 7-game series. It says give less minutes to Luka Doncic. I am not listening to that advice. This is going to be a relatively close game. It looks like it's back and forth at the third quarter. Can we hopefully pull away and get a little bit of cushion going into the fourth? It is still neck and neck. We are basically up by 1 point right now. We're taking a slight lead. Can we hold them off though? We are up by 4. Oh my God, they take a lead with 2 minutes left. They're starting to pull away a little bit. And they're going to end up winning the NBA Finals. Why did Jimmy Butler have to get hurt? I think if Jimmy doesn't get hurt, we easily win this series. We are going to do a quick run back. I'm going to just, I don't think I'm going to do anything. I'm just going to make sure we'll go to the draft lottery real quick. We do have some picks or some possible picks. So um, we have a chance at the number 4 pick. So we'll see. We end up landing the number 2, and the Celtics land number 1. So this is kind of insane. We will do this draft real quick and kind of look at who we can get, see if we can maybe add some depth in case next year Jimmy Butler or somebody goes down. So James Wiseman goes number 1, and that means we can choose between LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards. Let's take a look real quick at the roster. So we have Luca obviously at point guard, and we have Jimmy Butler and Mikal Bridges at shooting guard. I think Anthony Edwards is the right pick, but do we want to grab LaMelo instead to strengthen the shooting guard position where because we're pretty solid at the shooting guard position. Um, I think honestly, let's real quick look and make sure we can't just make a huge addition for trading the second overall pick straight up. Don't see anybody that's standing out that's like, yeah, let's go get him. Miles Turner is obviously extremely good, and Jeff Teague is really good. I think this would give us a better chance this year. Let's look and make sure we don't contract wise. So we have Luca locked up. Brandon Ingram is going to be a restricted free agent. Luca's locked up. Jimmy's locked up. Domantas Sabonis is going to also be restricted. Karis LeVert will probably walk. I don't know. I think we take. I like LaMelo Ball. Anthony. These are two of my more favorite players in the NBA, so that was kind of a hard decision. But we're gonna roll with Mr. LaMelo Ball. Now the question is there anybody? Okay, maybe we should have taken Anthony Edwards and then picked Tyrese Maxey here. But either way, we are going to actually take Denny Avia. I like him in real life, so we're going to take him. Just going to basically add some bench pieces. And I think we'll add Jaden McDaniels. Once again, just depth pieces at this point. We're just going to sim the end. We don't worry about the rest of the draft picks. And I'm going to lock everybody up, and we'll see you guys at the start of the next season to finish this rebuild out, hopefully. So real quick, we're gonna check out the progression. We'll make a little pit stop. Jimmy Butler actually goes down 2. Brandon Ingram goes up 2. Luca goes up 5, and Mikal Bridges goes up 4. So I think taking LaMelo was the right choice. Was a hard choice, but 80 overall, backup point guard at this point. And Jimmy Butler, he does go down in overall, but I think at this point, trying to win the title this year, this was the best move for us. So we have an extremely deep team. Taco Paul goes up 4. Moses Brown goes up 3. This would I think over the next 5 seasons, this team would be extremely good. But we're just probably going to play one more, try to win the title. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and stop here and sim to the playoffs, basically. All right, we're at the end of the season. Jokic wins MVP this year. LaMelo Ball wins Rookie of the Year as well, coming off the bench, and Sixth Man of the Year. So the team is doing great. We are the first seed. A real quick look at the NBA standings. We won 70 games for the first time. So really disappointed that this is our first real shot, or our first shot at a NBA championship, because last year I thought for sure we would end up winning the championship then. So we're going to get into this. We're playing Portland. They, of course, steal game 1. If we lose in the first round to Portland, the eighth seed who won in the play-in, I would lose my mind, I think. So we end up getting to the second round to play the Utah Jazz. Let's see if we can get a sweep in. Of course, we lose a game to them as well. We actually go down 2-1, and we tie it up 2-2. We take a 3-2 lead, and we're going to a game 7 with the Utah Jazz. If we let's look at the rotations real quick. So LaMelo is injured. I still think he gives us a better shot. So we will Mikal Bridge. We've had a lot of injuries in this rebuild. Um, so I don't. It's hard to overcome that sometimes when some of your better players go down. But looks like we're getting up to a little bit of a commanding lead, over a little bit over a 10 point. We end up winning by close to 20 points. So we are going to the conference finals. Let's see if we can beat Dallas. We drop game 2, we win game 3, we win game 4, and we are going to the NBA Finals for the second year in a row. Let's see if we are going to match up against Boston again. Let's see. We lose game 1 actually. We take game 2 though. They take game 3. We take game 4. It's tied. We need to steal a game. We take game 5, and we're going to a game 7 again. There's no advice from the coach. If we do not win this, I think I'm going to lose my mind. I do not understand how this team we have put together has not won an NBA championship yet. It looks like we are going to get our first win by uh, close to 20 points again. So we win. Nikola Jokic wins Finals MVP, and we have done it. We have finally won an NBA championship. Our final roster is at the point guard position, Luka Doncic, backed up by LaMelo Ball and Jalen Brunson. That is insane by itself. Then we have Jimmy Butler, Mikal Bridges, and Karis LeVert as our twos. We have Brandon Ingram backed up by Caleb Martin as our threes, and then DeMontis Sabonis, Cam Johnson, Denny Avia, Jaden McDaniels, and then Nikola Jokic, Jared Allen. And this team, I mean, once again, if the next 5 years, I think we'd win a lot of titles. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see maybe part 1, part 2 of these rebuilds, like on these ones where we have a young team that's obviously going to turn kind of into a dynasty with just minimal moves made. I wouldn't care to make a part 2 on this. I don't want to make, a 10-year rebuild and it be a 2-hour long video. But if you'd like to see like a part 1, part 2, or if you'd just like to see a different rebuild, so let me know down in the comments kind of what you guys think about that, what's more fun to watch. And yeah, if you like the rebuilds, let me know. I'm planning on doing some more of these until my team gets fixed. But yeah, I'm having a lot more fun playing this than my team right now. So let me know in the comments if there's any moves I made that you would have done something different on. We did have a little bit of a rough start in this one, but overall the team became extremely good. We got a pair of Jokic and Doncic, which I think one day in real life this pair they could pair up at some point, and that'd be really cool. But yeah, I think this team obviously is extremely young still. Jimmy Butler is really our only older player, but yeah, this was one of the more fun ones I've had. Let me down in the comments basically if there's any other teams you'd like to see rebuild. And yeah, if you like the video, please like the video. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.